Every year we share our trend predictions for the year. And trend predictions in the home space are interesting because I don't think that they turn over as fast as fashion. It's not a yearly thing. It's something that builds over time, especially because our homes are something that you don't want to be changing every couple of months or years, really. You want them to have longevity. So even though I say trends, I think that these are things that we've been incorporating more and more into projects. Those take a couple years to build. And then when they come to life, we still love them and we hope our clients love them for many years to come. With that said, I still love our trends that we predicted for 2024. So if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. We're still loving all those things. And without further ado, here are my 2025 trend predictions. Romance. This is something that we're seeing a lot in social media. People romanticizing their life, adding a chair to a sun-drenched corner, looking at the details and finding the beauty in your spaces. Romance is a really strong trend this year. I love romantic silhouettes, whether or not it's a trend. And we have created many beautiful romantic pieces for McGee Co. Ruffled edges on pillows and bedding, floral prints on wallpaper and textiles. I always tell our designers and I always tell our product designers, let's add some softness to this piece. And you'll see that whether we're doing something contemporary or traditional, I love to incorporate soft edges because I think it makes everything feel a bit more inviting and cozy. Curvy legs or a rounded back, and those can play off of that trend as well. I don't think it's something that I'll ever get tired of. Saturated colors. We're seeing deep, rich hues, and especially in seasons where it's not obvious to have those deep saturated hues. Deep browns, saturated navies, oxblood tones, earthy greens, and I love all of those individually and together. We've created many products for McGee Co that incorporate saturated hues. We have accent tables, we have artwork with rich tones, we have upholstery options that have deep velvets, and you can even do that on a sofa if you'd like. We have a lot of made to order pieces. I love a deep saturated color on a rug. I think the sky is the limit and you can incorporate this trend in so many different ways. One thing we're seeing with saturated hues is color blocking with those hues. It's taking a navy cabinet and then putting a burgundy tile with that navy cabinet. And those colors work together, but it's not the obvious choice, and I love that. A lot of that is just holding the samples up next to each other or looking to inspiration like a floral arrangement and seeing what colors work together in that arrangement and then pulling those out and applying them to the color blocked effect you're trying to create. I've been loving saturated hues for a while, and I think that I will always use them in some way, shape, or form in the homes that we design because they add a lot of richness and depth. If you're a person that loves a light and airy aesthetic and doesn't want to drench their entire home in saturated hues, that's okay. You can do this by having an accent chair that's in a deep color, or even go less than that and do a dark matte on an art piece. I'm thinking of vignettes like a chest with a dark lamp and maybe a dark tray and a dark box together. Those things add drama. There are ways to experiment with this look without painting an entire room Merlot. Pattern drenching. You've heard me use the word drenching twice. Layering pattern on pattern on pattern. The same pattern that's on the wallpaper is on the headboard, which is on the pillows. And that repetition is a look that we're seeing come in really strong in design right now. If you're not ready to commit to that extreme of a look, I think that you can do this on your bed in a really easy and beautiful way. You could match your pillows to your headboard and you're getting that effect without committing to the entire room. I think the most timeless way to do a heavily patterned look is to mix and match the patterns throughout the room. And I take the same approach to mixing and matching the patterns throughout a room that I do to mixing and matching pillows on a sofa. And that is mixing an organic floral with a stripe and a block print and a plaid. You are taking different styles and scales, and then you're unifying them with a color palette. Embellishments, tassels, trims, cording, tape details. Really, embellishments are about adding one more thing. We often think, hey, let's take something away, but right now, we are adding more to all of our spaces. It's an ottoman that has fringe on it. It is a light fixture that has a pleat. Those are embellishments. Not everything is smooth and sleek. Reeded details on cabinetry and furniture pieces. I mean, I could just talk about embellishments on pillows for a while. We have done tassels and fringe. We've done banding on edges, cording, tape details. I'm seeing rope details on frames and on lots of furniture pieces and textiles. Rope is probably my favorite embellishment right now. Western Cowboy. I'm excited about this one. We look to fashion a lot for trends that end up landing in the home space. Suede, fringe, boots, concho belts. I love all of those looks, and we're seeing that in the home space. We've had quite a few clients even over the last couple of years that have asked for cowboy art. We've put saddles in rooms. We're seeing a lot of all wood rooms. We're seeing a lot of rustic beams, a lot of antique pieces. Western Cowboy, I love this trend because I love things with patina. And whether you're doing artwork that has a horse in it, or you're picking a rustic vase that has a lot of age, you can take this literal, or you can just be inspired by it and inspired by the textures. I think this is a play off of the equestrian aesthetic. We heard a lot of country club thrown out over the past couple of years, and I think this is just building upon that. We're seeing it in a more rustic way. And one thing I love to do is actually mix the trends that I'm saying now together. So adding in a really romantic floral pillow in a more rustic setting is a really lovely combination. And I think that you don't have to just lean into one trend and say, this is the one I'm going for, and that's it. You can pick and choose how you do that in your own home. And that actually really speaks to you and your personal aesthetic, because we're all drawn to many different things. We went from Western Cowboy to inspired by the sea. I am seeing so many shell motifs, and this is another one inspired by fashion. We had Mermaid Girl Summer, and we had a lot of these mesh textures in fashion, and I'm seeing the seaside trend really come into play with shell objects, shell light fixtures, shell trays, and we're seeing it everywhere. And I love it. Like anything, you can take this to the extreme and do lots of shells and lots of seaside textures and colors in your home, or you can do this in a really subtle way and just pick a few decorative accents. We've seen this trend coming for a while and actually created two really beautiful objects for McGee Co that allow you to play with this trend. Both things would sit well on a coffee table or in a shelf. I think that it is so fun to play with those things. Many of us have memories or feel really inspired by the sea, and it's a great trend to play with in your home. You will see so many of these trends in big and small ways in our upcoming project reveals this year. And if you feel inspired to incorporate any of them into your own home, I hope you feel empowered to do so.